Hi, this video will guide you through the Year 1 foot movement warm-up activity, part of the healthy or less healthy lesson. Before starting, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. This warm-up combines nutrition learning with movement, where students identify foods while performing matching actions. It focuses on fundamental movement skills, including locomotor skills, skipping and walking, and non-locomotor skills such as stretching and arm movements. This game is especially important given the findings from the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, which show that 26% of children aged 5 to 17 are overweight or obese. It supports the development of healthy habits through active learning. Students' enthusiasm following the Kids Day Out event also highlights their interest in health, making this lesson relevant and meaningful. Now, I'm going to provide a brief walkthrough of the activity. Before beginning, ensure the space is clear and all students have enough room to move safely. You will need resources such as Manex, the smart board, and a clearly defined activity space. Gather their attention by calling out eyes front, palms down, legs crossed, mouth zip, followed by a radiance check. If you are ready, can I hear a clap? And ensure the clarity of rules and routine. Start the lesson by asking a question to prompt thinking, such as, why do you think this food is healthy or less healthy? This encourages discussion and allows students to share their experiences. Next, model and demonstrate movement to each category. For example, healthy foods might involve skipping, and while less healthy foods involve walking. Watch as I demonstrate. I show a food item and students respond with the matching movement for about 10 seconds. Demonstrate the movements to ensure they understand expectations and explain the freeze signal when they say freeze. All students must stop immediately. Once students are confident, increase the challenge by combining cues. For example, this cauliflower is healthy and is a vegetable, so it may require students to skip while adding an arm movement. This activity uses a strength-based and whole school approach, where students learn through movement and questioning. A strength-based approach focuses on what students can do by allowing them to participate at their own level, with appropriate modifications. It also reflects a whole school approach by linking classroom learning to broader initiatives, such as the Kids Day Out health event, reinforcing consistent messages about healthy lifestyle. This activity uses a combination of brainstorming, critical inquiry, and scaffolded explicit teaching to support students' learning. Brainstorming allows students to share ideas freely without judgment, activating prior knowledge. For example, they can discuss foods from the Kids Day Out event before building their understanding of healthy choices. Critical inquiry is supported through guided and open-ended questions, prompting students to consider why foods are healthy or less healthy, such as the impact of food cooking methods. And to challenge their assumption about food and health, scaffolded explicit teaching involves demonstrating each movement clearly, allowing students to practice individually until confident, and then gradually increase the challenge by combining two cues. This approach helps students to understand concepts in manageable steps without overwhelming cognitive load, while supporting engagement, confidence, and skill development. Throughout the activity, monitor safety by ensuring students are spaced appropriately, wearing suitable footwear, and moving in control. To support different learners, movement can be modified so all students can participate at their own level. Some may perform simplified or seated actions, while others can be challenged through faster responses or more complex combinations. Encouraging peer support also allows students to learn from one another. This approach promotes equitable participation by minimizing comparison and avoiding hierarchies, ensuring all students feel included and valued. It also supports positive learning environments by recognizing that students have different abilities and needs. By focusing on efforts, participations, and improvement rather than performance, The activity encourages positive behaviors and inclusive role modeling. Combining movement with learning supports the brain development by strengthening neural connections, improving memory, and increasing engagement. Active participation helps young learners to retain information more effectively as they are physically and cognitively involved in the task. This activity develops coordination, balance, and spatial awareness through a variety of movements. As students progress through primary school, the activity can be adapted by increasing complexity and speed or adding object control skills, ensuring continued development of motor skills in an inclusive way. After the activity, gather the students to briefly review food choices and reinforce the connection between healthy eating and being active. Again, focus on safety, participation, and effort while using questioning and differentiation to support all learners. The food movement activity is an effective way to introduce healthy eating while developing essential movement skills in an engaging and inclusive way. Thank you for the attention.